What were some of my favorite moments of 2022? Well, our December commencement was the first commencement ceremony, graduation ceremony that we've had since COVID that really went off in a completely normal way where there didn't have to be COVID mitigations. And I can't even describe how celebratory, joyous it was to have a commencement ceremony like that again. The ribbon cutting on our LESS solar energy project was pretty exciting. Great moment. We had a big crowd. I think a lot of Winonans have noticed the solar panels that are over our parking lot, and they can't see the things that are all up on the rooftops, but that was pretty exciting because it reduced our footprint, our carbon footprint by about 27%, and a lot of energy saving costs for us. Personally, I really loved when we hosted Michael Che of Saturday Night Live here at Winona State. I didn't have anything to do with selecting him to come and be a speaker, but I was honored when they asked me to interview him, and I was nervous about it, but I thoroughly enjoyed sitting and having about an hour and a half conversation with Michael Che, and I think I've seen every episode of Saturday Night Live since the very first one, so we went deep into its history and got his perspective, and I really enjoyed that. And then later in the year, we had Bill Nye, the science guy, came to campus, and that's one of the biggest events I think we've ever had. It packed McCown Gymnasium, wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling, and the students were over the moon, thrilled that Bill Nye was here, and he did a fantastic job. So that was a huge event. And I'm delighted that we met our enrollment goal for this fall. It's been, that's been a tricky thing during COVID, because Winona State represents kind of a personalized experience that was really tough to do during COVID. But our freshman enrollment goal, we met it for this fall, and so that felt good to kind of be back on track again. What was something that I learned during 2022 that will kind of stay with me? You know, over the course of COVID and the effect that it had on education, I think we all learned, we were all amazed by the resilience of our students and our faculty and staff, their ability to just step up and get it done. And it's kind of amazing because actually our graduation rates, this wasn't true most places, but our graduation rates actually went up during COVID. They got better. And that's a pretty amazing thing, a testament really to the hard work of our students and our faculty and our staff. No surprises maybe with that comment, but what really came through this fall was, even though we could be resilient and we could work through things on Zoom and through technology, there's something about physically being together in the same place, not sort of always through media, but like in the same place at the same time, that made a huge difference to our students. And the student mood this fall on campus was like I haven't felt it in a long time. They were so full of energy and excitement and enthusiasm, so grateful for everything that was happening around them, and that was fantastic. So I guess I learned, yes, we can be resilient through really difficult times when we can't be together, but being together is always better. Do I have any goals? Do we have any goals for 2023? Of course we do. The main one always is to keep Winona State University affordable and keep it excellent. And we've been able to do that through tough times throughout our history, and that's still who we are and what we want to do. We've managed to keep our student success numbers high, our graduation rates high. We still stand out as having the greatest level of student success, graduation rate, etc., among all of the Minnesota State colleges and universities. We're super proud of that, and we do it while still being affordable. And so that, of course, is the thing we want to maintain. And while we're doing that, we want to continue closing the gaps in graduation rates between white students and all the students of color that attend here. So we'll keep working on that. We've actually reduced some of the gaps essentially down to zero, but we have other gaps we've really got to keep working on And that's good work. It's important work. It's righteous work. If you come to Winona State, it shouldn't matter who you are, what your background is. You should have the same shot at success as anybody else. So we're really happy about that. And then we hope there hasn't been a bonding bill come out of our legislature in a little while, and we're hoping this spring they might take up a bonding bill. And we have a project in there we've nicknamed Cecil, and it's a pretty exciting project. It continues our commitment to sustainability by being a completely carbon neutral building, but it also gives a new home, a much needed new home to some of the programs and majors that are most critical to the future of the Minnesota economy. And so we're very enthusiastic about the project. We know our local legislators are very enthusiastic about the project. So we're hoping that that's something that by the time we get to the end of the legislative session, that'll be on a list of projects that Minnesota's investing in. What am I looking forward to most in 2023? Well, I'm actually looking forward to the Minnesota legislative session. We still have good governance in Minnesota, and I'm looking forward to spending some time up in St. Paul and talking to our local legislators, Senator Miller and Representative Pulowski, and working with other legislators on the important work they're doing up there. It's exciting, and it's why we elect them, and so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the beginnings of our Career and Technical Ed Teacher Program. This was a program that was very much supported by Representative Pulowski and Senator Miller. It actually came out of the legislative mini session that we hosted here in Winona some years ago. And it's a partnership that we have with Minnesota State College Southeast. And the idea is to prepare teachers to go out in the schools and teach the trades, vocations, much like they would have back when I was in high school. And there's a big shortage of teachers of this type in Minnesota. And so the legislature stepped up and they invested in a program, and we're proud to be partnered with Minnesota State College Southeast to do it. And that program, we've already hired the folks to do the work. They're working on the curriculum right now. And so by next fall, there'll be students enrolling in that program. And we think that's really good for high school kids generally, but also for the economy of Minnesota. And just a personal thing, we had Kelly and I, our oldest daughter, got married in June of 22, and our younger daughter is getting married in August of 23. So it's been kind of a momentous wedding season, and those are just wonderful, joy-filled ways of growing the family. So as much as we love the whole Winona family that we're a part of, we love our daughters too, and so I'm really looking forward to that wedding. Oh, and we like the guy.